Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Mount River Duel between Spedicy playing TKS, which is quite popular now given the changes, and Super Pershing 94 T5 playing as 25Y, because 45Y wasn't available. Wow, I'm hilarious. Let's see the deck reviews. Right, so this is Super Pershing 1945's deck, and it is a deck draft build. And apparently it was in the last game of his I cast as well, because I was like, why hasn't he brought this? Why hasn't he brought that? Essentially, this is yes.com, and you press deck drafter, and basically it's like a semi-randomized deck building thing. We did do a tournament on it. I actually won. That was my last 1v1 tournament win. And so it'll give you three divisions random, and then you select whatever, and then it will give you three options. Obviously, you're supposed to have it. I've got it zoomed in as well. So yeah, and then it will give you three options, and it's like it's a card with the veterancy predetermined. So some of them are like BMP at 2 vet and stuff like that. So they press that, and then it'll go through them all, and then wow, max vet D30, I get 1, etc., etc. Eventually, you end up with a deck. So, given that that's the case, he's actually arrived at a surprisingly capable deck. Most of the main features of TKS are here: the funny high-altitude bomber, the decent fighter, the Gazelle cannons at 2 vet, the Gazelle Hot 2, Eyehawks, Fallschirmjäger, AMX-10RC, the RT tab's not so bad. Green Berets and Heimat Jaeger, because Green Berets are instructor, so it's gone pretty well. The only thing that he's really missed out on are the Pioneer Flam, because the whole point of TKS at this point is you bring 2 cards of Pioneer Flam at 1 bet, and then you just win every single fight. So, yes, you can bring the military police vehicle to put with your tanks, but generally people don't bother, and instead of the reserve Pioneers, which are still really good, because it's 6 Uzis for 15 points, is pretty crazy now. Oh, you can bring the Feldjäger if you want, but generally people would do that. And then they might want some MG3s instead of something. But and yeah, look, this is even in the Milan transport, so I think he's done a pretty good job there. Obviously, it's semi-random, but he's ended up on a pretty decent number. His opponent is alright, with the miracle of editing, you won't have seen that anything was wrong there. This was actually Spedicy's deck, not Super Pershing's. So that explains why he was able to get almost everything he needed, except for whatever reason he doesn't bring the Pioneer Flams and he needs 6 Eyehawks, and he wants the Genas instead of the F104AT or something. So yeah, this is Super Pershing's deck. So honestly, it's not too bad, but like 2 vet Briusas obviously are a bit strange. At least he's got the Cubs and the Iglas at the correct vet. He's got the Recon tank. He's got the Recon Helo and the Schmel, which usually you wouldn't bring both. The tanks are 2 vetted, which you wouldn't really want. So you can tell something's up, right? And he doesn't have the Saperi RPO, he doesn't have the grenade launchers, but I guess if you've only got 5 slots, you probably wouldn't bring the grenade launchers, and you'd want as many BMP ones as you could get. Although this isn't so bad, having a card in the truck so you can get there fast. Reasonably fast. He's got the Misters. Between these two, by the way, the Jiatsin is a lot better because the range matters a lot more now because of counter battery. So having 30 kilometers range is a pretty big deal over 25, but the Mister is better at defending itself, which is also important given the changes. And yeah, sorry, did I show you the deck drafter? I think I did. I'll have to go back and check. So yeah, it's a doozy, but you live by the sword, die by the blade, etc., etc. He says he makes these decks to give himself a challenge. I mean, that's the whole point, but leaving out all these 1-point slots so you can bring a few tanks at 2 vet. For me, I have that kind of attitude that I'm like, yeah, I want to have fun, try something new. And then I do it, and then I lose, and I'm like, okay, that was a bad idea, because now I feel bad because I lost. But hey, it's your copy of the game. So let's cast the game. Right, so with that out of the way, Super Pershing has a deck build, semi-randomly generated deck. So he doesn't have most of his tanks, so the tanks he does have are generally at the wrong veterancy. In general, this is a really nice map for 25 wide, he should win. Because the map's very narrow in the way it works. Because of these big lakes here, the combat basically happens here, or just doesn't happen at all there. Or happens here, or happen because of this big open field, or happens like here. So the actual playable area is very narrow, so it really lends itself to I buy heavy tank, I drive forwards, I drive backwards. And in the tournaments you see a lot of this map. Basically the heavy tank players will ban all the wide maps, and then they will be left with Mount River and Ica, and they'll just play Mount River and Ica over and over again, if they can, right? So, good for 25th, but his deck is abysmal. He's left open 4 1 AP tank slots. His opponent, for whatever reason, doesn't bring the Pioneer Flam, even though you get 2 cards on TKS, and that's sort of the whole point of why TKS is having a resurgence. He does bring the Reservist Pioneers, which are still really good, but not as broken as the Pioneer Flam. He also brings 6 Eyehawks. So, yeah, looking at the deployment, we've got the TKS big opener on the left mainly. He gets airborne forward deployment and his opponent doesn't, so he should get everywhere first. This goes at 100 kilometers an hour. And every time you buy Green Berets, you should buy a Heimat Schutzen with them. Heimat Jaeger, and he is sort of doing that. This is also forward deployed. I don't like it. I prefer the one that's not forward deployed but has good stealth. Because this only has mediocre stealth, so it gets spotted and blown up. And it's like, oh, it's forward deployed, but so... Like, this is what I need early game tank attack, and, it's better, so this is obviously a lot cheaper, though. It has its place, I just don't need it. The BGS in the wrong transport. You can get it in a transport that has very good optics when it stood still, but doesn't have it. Air mobiles, usually you'd open, like, a couple Gazelle Hots or Gazelle Cannons, but he's got the Gazelle Cannons, but not the Gazelle Hots, so he should be getting in mid first. Bowfalls on the right. Lots of Heimat Jaeger, no tanks. That's a really big mistake. You need some of those Heimat M48, whatever, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P tanks. The Germans, they really know how to name them. So, switching to his opponent, we've got Super Pershing. He's got the BRDM2s, which are nice to have. Although this div generally buys the BRM1K instead, because it needs exceptional optics for its tanks. He does have the Recon tank, and this is slower than the AMX-10RC, but is a lot better. It also costs twice as much, so... and the optics are worse and the stealth is worse. But, it's got a lot more armor. And so, okay, so he's setting up around here. He's got the T-64As, which have the minimum range gun. And so it kind of makes sense to fight around here and push across. The thing is, TKS's tanks also have the minimum range gun, and you get tanks that have the maximum range gun. He only gets the AMX-10RCs that do that. So you want to be fighting in the open, I think. But with the deck he has, he doesn't actually have that many tanks, so maybe it makes sense to shepherd them and so on. Another T-64A here. Yeah, let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners. Generously joining the channel, they get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest level's worth 2,000 views, so if you feel bad about your ad block, it's a great way to support the channel. Otherwise, please just like the video. It's free, helps me out. You can also wishlist my game on Steam. It's called Hearse Hero. It's got a higher review score than Warno and Broken Arrow, obviously. So, yeah, against TKS, you really want to just kind of play slow at the start and just grind them down. It can be very frustrating to play into them because it takes a very long time to grind them down through attrition. They have a lot of crap that they could throw at you. But at the end of the day, if you rush, like if he had gone for this, well, he still would have lost his units. So there was another game on the channel recently, TKS versus Yusuke. Oh, sorry, Jaiski. I said it wrong. And the Jaiski player rushed into the TKS player because like, I gotta contest the ground, I gotta contest the ground. You really need to get out of that habit. If your div is slower, like significantly slower, then you don't have to contest the ground. Some of it is knowledge, maybe you don't know what you're up against, but a lot of it is like you do know and you still think you can hack it, but you just got to accept that your div is better in the late game, if you're red in this case. Red's build is obviously really bad because of the the deck draft. Though he doesn't have enough tanks, he's left 4 1 AP slots open because that's how the deck draft works. If you want to know what I'm on about, just watch the deck review. I know a lot of you skip it. So yeah, these Bofors are decent on the defense, but obviously one tank of any caliber will kill that. The T-64s do nice HE because they have the HE is just based off the diameter. It's really silly. Like, it should scale as a square, not linearly, because 125mm diameter is a lot more volume than 110mm diameter, right? Because it's, you know, it's a circle, it's a cylinder basically. So, but yeah, his idea, I guess, is that he wants to push through here, but it's very hard to get through the air mobiles who have very nice AP, and so on and so on and so on. TKS could also buy the funny bomber, although it wouldn't do too much to these tanks, and there is a cutback here that would one-shot it. But basically, if he can take this, then he can pressure this zone, or he can turn right. So he bought the funny bomber. I don't know if you can hear that very, very loud motorcycle. Yeah, you definitely can. It came up on the mic. The mic levels. There's nothing I can do about it. I live in a pretty, you know, a pretty poor area. But it's poor for the UK. I understand I get a lot of people watching from different countries where poor means something else. In the UK, if you're poor, you're probably obese. Because you spend all your money on alcohol and cigarettes, and takeaways. Whereas if you're poor in, you know, a lot of countries, you're not obese because you can't afford food and then you die. So poor has different meanings. But yeah, basically all he has to do now is put that in that building right now, and then because then you can shoot it with both at once, and then he'd be side-shotting that while front-shotting them, and he could have killed 2 tanks and a BMP. Ah, he's doing it now, but nah, he waited too long. He waited too long. So basically, if you're red in this case, so he went for the Briusa, which was smart really, because the Briusa can kill him, and he got the MiG-29 with the Mirage. So basically, red needs to buy another Cub because those F-104s are a big issue, and yeah, he's getting pushed here as well. So he doesn't have enough tanks, and he also has the Saperi instead of the Saperi RPO. Because basically, in that case, you don't want to drive the tanks in there to sort it out, because you're going to get killed by air mobiles. His opponent missed microed, so he didn't actually lose any tanks, because this is just sat here on 1 HP. But yeah, if he had Saperi RPO, you know, something like this would struggle to happen, because the Saperi RPO would get him. He should probably, I mean, if he's going to engage, he should probably get the tank up there, and then the tank can shoot. The tank is pretty good against infantry, we said, and then these guys should be in this building so they can engage, and this guy should be in this building so they can engage, but he's just not really looking. Like, he's also not unloading his infantry either. He's given it the wrong order. So this guy's been given an attack position order there, so he's just not using the roads or anything. This guy's been given the proper order. So basically, as red, you know, you can come take this, but if you can't make it, you can just swing by and take mid. And then if you take mid and they own this, I think you're actually on a +1 because this is a +2. Is that right? Because it would be 2, 3, 4, 5, and he'd have 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it'd just be even Stevens. Because this is a +2, yeah. So the Saperi are engaged. And blue doesn't really have any fire support here, it's just 3 infantry, so that you'd expect the blue's or 4 infantry to to lose. He has brought the tank round. He is getting shots off. It is doing good damage. The Strela not quite in position to stop these air mobiles. So it's a shame he couldn't. He'd have to hit him twice, so he'd probably get one. But that's, 105 points. He needs to buy some supply and get it over to this. That is on its way. Blue still hasn't capped mid. He does have a 40-point CV here, but it's engaged. And looks like Blue's overextended. Generally, it's TKS, if you're doing an attack like that, you want some anti-tank. And some tanks, preferably. Those 75-point tanks, you basically buy them in pairs and always use them in pairs. Because 2 of those 75-pointers would actually trade reasonably well into one of these T-64As. I think the T-64A would still win. But if you can get good micros, you can get side shots. The M48s would win. So, is he going to land this, or run away, or can he tell he's being shot at? So just routed. The Mirage should just come and clean this out now. Yep, and then use the LGBT to get the tank. So Blue still on that +2. Red's really going for this area. It looks like it's working so far. So yeah, there goes the Helo. 1 per card, it's expensive loss. These are pretty good now, with them being 40% ECM. The missiles aren't amazing, but 40% ECM is not to be sniffed at. And Blue's continuing to infiltrate and so on, so I think both players are playing a pretty decent game, like they're doing the right things. So just this attack here with no support, it's a shame really, because if he'd had like even just an ATGM there, then the T-64A wouldn't have been able to come around. And the AMX-10LC died there as well, and the one here is dead. So Red has a pretty good chance of getting in. You want to send the BMP before you send the CV, which is also BMP. Milan 2 there, bit of an issue. Big issue. Although, well, if it was a Conkers, it'd shoot you as you went past, but because it's not, I don't think it can. So the Cub did get pulled back. 1 Heimat Jaeger, 1 Green Berets. Typically it's like 1 Green Beret for 2 Heimat Jaegers, but 1 to 1 is fine as well. No Pioneer Flams, really weird. And you should be okay. But yeah, they're having trouble. He's having trouble just getting into the zone. He doesn't have recon infantry here. He's got 2 of these, which means he used to have oh yeah, they just walked across this field and died. I remember seeing it. So that's what happened to that infantry. But Red's managed to reclaim this on the right. What is that? Anna. And yeah, he's going for this zone, which it's a nice one to take. It's actually worth the same as this, sort of, because even though it's a +1, because the enemy owns it right now, if you take it, you get a 2 swing, right? Because they're not earning 1, and then you're earning 1. This, for whatever reason, he just hasn't. It's been 10 minutes, he hasn't capped this. He's got the CVs, he just doesn't want to. He'd have to, like, smoke here or something, otherwise this would kill it, so. I understand the hesitation, but it's a +2. Do you not want to be on a +4? You'd be 1,000 points up instead of 500. In the meantime, Red doesn't like buying CVs either. He's just going to leave this zone capped by the enemy. And still no recon here. And, like, how's he going to kill this now? What he could have done there is run this. Oh, I see. That's automatic. He's not actually telling it to do that because it's on defensive. It's just doing it itself. When it gets shot at by the smoke, by the Milan 2, it pops the smoke and reverses. That must have already used its smoke, otherwise it would have done it as well. So, yeah, I mean, he's stalled out here because he doesn't want a smoke mortar or anything. Oh no, well, he's buying one for this side. Yeah, you just smoke that, then you can walk in. The other thing is these if you like put it forwards and smoke and then put the next one forwards and smoke and then put the next one forwards and smoke, you can get in and then you just run for this and it won't be able to shoot you in time. That's the sort of thing you sort of get used to as you play a lot. He's got no Cub here. He's buying one. But yeah, you got to appreciate that, you know, from the enemy's perspective. Well, if you're over here, I'm going to bomb all your units. Green Berets doesn't unload in time. Heimat Jaeger not reacting. Oh no, you got that. And that didn't kill that. interesting. It drops 2, so I guess 2 of those still doesn't kill a heavy tank. Wow. They should. I think all LGBT should be 2 per card. And if it's always overperforming, we'll just make it cost a bit more. I think it's dumb that they're 1 per card. Yeah, so still +2 for blue. Red's really struggling with this. I mean, he just needs to, you know, buy some smoke, and then he can cross the field. Or he can get a bomber and bomb this. Or he can buy a howitzer and kill this. There's lots of ways to deal with it, but so far he's going for the get shot in the face strategy. So this mortar's probably going to go down to the Heimat Jaeger. So that blue doing the right thing here, but I mean now he's got 2 CVs here and still hasn't capped it. So, and red has finally got a CV up here, but he's just left it back here, so he's not capping this zone either. So his opponent's 700 points up now, just from not buying a CV. Yeah. So I guess this is just going to keep sitting here and shooting him. And he bought the Gvozdika. Will that be employed, or basically when you buy arty, you want it to shoot straight away because it reloads while moving, so you might as well get that extra volley in. Although with the pack up and setup times, it's a little bit less important than it used to be. It is still important. So that CV's coming in now. In the meantime, you've got Air Mobile coming through the forests. He doesn't have Saperi RPO, so he can't deal with that, at least not effectively. And his opponent doesn't have Pioneer Flam, so this is the fast bomber. The Cubs one-shot those, so it's just about RNG. Will he move the Cub now? This should target the Cub. He does move the Cub. Wow. 3 misses, eh? So what he did there was he moved it wrong. So he didn't move it fast enough, first thing, but then he gave it an attack move order backwards. So what it does is it turns on the spot, and then it starts moving. And because it was an attack move order, it stopped to shoot. So what he should have done is given it a reverse order, because it's already going to be facing this way. So if you give it a reverse order, it's already facing the right way. And in this game, all vehicles go backwards as fast as they go forwards. So T-Series tanks are completely broken in this game because their main disadvantage, the fact that they can't bloody reverse, you know, reverse at like 1/5 the speed of their forward speed, something like that. That's all gone, doesn't matter. So in the meantime, the air mobiles are sort of monging out, doing their best to get shot by a tank. So the motor stroke he did reasonably well there. The howitzers are aimed at where the tanks used to be, I suppose, and he's not. He obviously sees that they've moved, but he hasn't updated his orders, so. And yeah, red's still on the -2 because blue's capped mid, so what red needs to do in this case is, so it's becoming abundantly clear he just can't get in here because he doesn't want to buy the smoke, and I guess this is, you know, he's got to clear these out now, and blue's going to keep putting stuff in here. So, and he's getting pushed back on this side, so he should swing around and take mid. This is always like you go for it, but if you've taken this, you go for this, and if you can't do it, you just need to very rapidly pivot into attacking mid. Because the fact of the matter is, if they've just bought loads of reinforcements for Olga, then Sign is not going to have many people there, right? Because at this point, blue's front line is really wide. Red's units are basically all here, and here and here, whereas blue has this front line of the like back here, you know, around this way, up here, round there, round there. The length of the front line is very, very long, and so there's going to be gaps in it. So yeah, red should just come attack on this side. Has that Gvozdika fired? It has. So he's firing at the air mobiles because that's what you can see. I would probably just bring a card of Jiatsins and a card of Misters or something, or probably won't bother with the Gvozdikas personally. So yeah, 2 Heimat Jaeger, 1 Green Beret, problem solved. And the Eyehawk's been purchased now, and at close ranges, it's got very high accuracy. So He would have fired twice more there, so the chances of him getting out once that hit him on the first one was basically 0. So the Heimat Jaeger is now going for the Gvozdika. There's a Green Berets on this side. He could move it up to here, you know, just to get side shots. You've only got 1 HP, so you can't reveal too much. Beat's doing nothing. So, yeah, Blue's still winning. But he's got more than half the game. Here you go, he's found the cub. So he should kill the cub now. The Gvozdika's coming towards him as well to maximise the chances of the Heimat Jaeger getting kills. So he's moving this forward, so it didn't have to turn, because it was already facing the right way. And, yeah, this doesn't damage infantry, so just keep that in mind. And, yeah, I guess he thought it did. Well, you gotta learn somehow. He did send that forward and then right-click it, so as you can see from the orders. So, yeah, I mean, Red, he lost the CV to the Milan 2, the one Milan 2, which stopped his whole push. And this is where things like smoke come in handy, because you need a cost-effective counter to this. One, having recon infantry so you can see it, so your tanks can engage it from max range, very important. And two, you know, howitzers like 200 points, the smoke mortars about 70, and this is 65, so it's a cost-effective counter, smoking it off. And then, like, so at this point, if you're going for this now, you would pull two of these back, leave one, and come sort it out. The Milan 2's literally run out of ammo. That's one way of doing it. And there you go, so we got that. Not sure how we saw that one. Oh, that is weird. Maybe he flew a plane over before, and that spotted it. So he's got the drone, so he knows there's not much here. You will see the Green Berets now. I wonder if he'll notice. Because basically, you know, if you've got backline infiltrators, you need to buy the Gazelle cannons and the Gazelle cannon recon and just come sort this out. He killed the one that was here. I guess the SU must have got it with its rockets. Looks like the Eyehawk will get a second shot off, and it's next to the CV as well, so it's got higher accuracy. Now he needs to buy another CV, so he's got 2 out now. That's good, because we all know, you know, if one of them dies, it's going to take like 4 or 5 minutes for it to get another one out, and he's been on a -2 now for almost half the game. So, but he's taken all the zones actually, and this is yeah, we see the first tanks out from Blue in 20 minutes. So you need to get these out earlier. He is buying them in 2s, which is good. And basically your infantry should always be supported by one of these because they're not expensive. The Eyehawk didn't move, so it gets counter-batteried, so that was good. And you see the range of this. The Jyatsint's better, because it's got more range. But it's more vulnerable to counter-battery, but having the range is a bigger defense, in my opinion, because you're firing from further away. And yeah, Red's taken this, he just needs some recon. Really doesn't like buying that. Although, well, I suppose, you know, the drone. There's one here. And now, if Red actually capped the zones, he'd be on a... so that'd be +2 to him. He'd be on a +4. So it's happening, slowly but surely. He sees the Green Berets because he gave an order here, which means he can clearly see it. He's sending the rocket healer, so that'll be dealt with. And yeah, this was just a waste. He got it in, and all he had to do was put it there. Bam, 2 CVs dead. Oh well, it would kill this one, and then I guess maybe you'd notice. But if it got the side shots, it would definitely kill that T-64B. But you gotta put it in the right place, like there. So it's just side shots. That lost vision on this, I guess, although I don't see how. Not sure what happened there. So there you go. He's got enough CVs out. So yeah, they do that sometimes where it's stuck on firing 99%. I think it is because it's reloading or like the turret's turning or something. But it makes you think, oh, it's about to shoot, and then you don't smoke, and then it doesn't shoot, and then you get smoked. So there you go, we've got some CVs now, and yeah, TKS is, at this point, it's going to be very hard for him to come back into this. And it just came down to, so TKS didn't use any smoke, he didn't bring the Pioneer Flams, and he didn't use any of his tanks. And, you know, and then he's just getting rolled by T-64s, and it's like, well, no surprises there. The main criticism I'd give of Red's plays is that he's got no recon here and hasn't for ages, and then, like, how is it possible that you let one 65-point unit stop your entire flank for, like, 10 minutes? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not good. That's not good either. So, you know, do something about it. You got plenty of solutions. Plenty of solutions. Did the Gvozdika die? But yeah, I don't know. Just really, really, really struggling against one ATGM. He's going to claim another victim now, because that doesn't have smoke. Yeah, it's not what you want, really. A very solvable problem, that. So he's running towards it, but there's actually an infantry squad in there, so this won't work, because this will kill him. It's got the tools to do so, and it's in the building. And these can't reveal because they're scared of getting shot at by the Milan 2, which has actually now fired all its ammo, like the one in mid did. So that's one way of solving the problem. Run at the enemy until he runs out of ammo. And so now Red is just about resupplying, reinforcing. So, yeah, like, this is obviously not good. You don't want him just sat out there in the open getting shot. Good play with the helos, and, like, Blue's AA. He doesn't bring the Fliegerfaust, so he's relying on 6 Eyehawks. And Bofors, which can't be moved. He also doesn't bring the VLRA AA piece at 2 vet, which is super useful at the start of having forward deployed AA, and can chase down those helicopters and stuff. So, yeah, it's a shame. Always lots of room for improvement. So there you go, he's finally solved the problem by just running units at it over and over again until it runs out of ammo. So, yeah, I mean, all Blue has to do really is just resupply that, and yeah, Blue, you'd expect to just walk back in there, really. I mean, there's not a whole lot Red can do about that. It obviously depends on the micro. Red doesn't get a lot of infantry, he gets 5 cards. And because of this randomized deck drafter thing, he's got some things he shouldn't really have. Like regular zappers instead of Sapere Arpio. And he's got an infantry ATGM team, which isn't a good idea when you've only got 5 cards of infantry, I can tell you. So, Blue slowly crawling his way around on the left. And, yeah, in the meantime, Red's pushing on the right, although he doesn't really see what we see. This isn't going to work. The reserve pioneers are, like, pretty cracked now. It's actually pretty silly how strong they are. Okay, he dove the Eyehawk to try and get the Mirage, and now he loses his fighter. And this one's... well, it's lost less than 1 HP, so if that hit, it wouldn't have killed it. Now he should hit the Eyehawk. Good. Opponent should move his Eyehawk. This guy is just not microing. You're supposed to... so use the forest to get into satchel range, and then stop and throw the satchel. You don't just walk towards the enemy. Look, he's on... alright, I mean, he gave it a stop order, so I guess it's doing it now. He doesn't have auto cover on, so... so the Eyehawk... oh, it's just manually moving. Looks like it's going to get away. That's another thing, if you've got spare CVs. He did have 2 here. I guess he lost 1. Oh, it's come around here. You know, this one you could send to the arty. The arty would aim faster, and you might get that kill. So, Blue might still win, simply because... you know, he can just walk in here, and he can walk in here. So that'll put the red team on a +2. On a +2 it'll still be enough. If Blue takes this as well, it'll be a +0. And yeah, he's finally got some recon, so he might be able to see this now. So is he going to reverse behind the building? No, because that's an automatic defensive order. He doesn't even know this is happening. If he was manually reversing, obviously you'd just go behind this and then it would lose the pathing, but the defensive order just reverses away from whatever's shooting at you. So it just went backwards in a straight line, it was still in range, and it got blown up. So yeah, this guy's been resupplied now. Oh, there goes another tank. That's really something, man. You gotta do something about Vincent over here. You can't just let him kill you all game. Bit of RT, bit of Air Force, anything. Smoke. Just a regular mortar. Just buy a regular mortar and just constantly hit this. You know, because it's a circle, you just aim it there, and then you will eventually kill it or force it off that point, because HE mortars actually do something now. So, good flanking shots with the Kokon. I mean, it's out of bullets now, so you should send it back and get more. But yeah, you got some tanks with the side shots. The Kokon's a really good missile. The Schmel can't be shot at by the Eyehawks because of some bollocks about, ooh, drones too small to see with the radar. It's not a modern little quadcopter, it's a 1989 drone. It isn't small at all, but what can I say? Yeah, so the tick stopped, and it's just about, you know, I can't call what happens next because obviously there's a lot of interesting decisions being made by both players, so who knows? I mean, will Vincent get another kill? That's undoubtedly. Oh no, somebody's going to steal it. Nah, somebody else stole his kill here. His younger brother Seda stole the kill. So now, yeah, we just keep walking into the Milan 2. Shoot me, shoot me. No, that's going on something else, which presumably used to be there. He's got some recon infantry though. And yeah, Red's taking this back. Blue didn't have the AA, so the helicopters just killed all his stuff. Because he doesn't... he does have the Fliegerfest. Alright. But he doesn't vet them. So it's 12 at no vet. So... yeah. Green Beret should just kill all that. The tanks are dead. He can't send any more up because one Milan 2 will kill all his tanks. It is what it is. So yeah, ATGMs. Something you gotta learn to deal with. There's so many ways of dealing with it. I'm just repeating myself, but that's because the same thing's just happening over and over and over and over again. It's kind of sad. Oh, he's moving up. So yeah, MVP Vincent over here. Now you gotta move the Cub, because it should get hit by RT. And yeah, Red's back on the +2 because he took this zone back. Honestly, he could go for more. The thing is, I think he's out of tanks, which is crazy on 25th. But as you know from the deck build, he doesn't really have many tanks. Most of them are at 2 vet. And he has 4 empty 1-point slots, so he doesn't have many tanks. So the Bofors are doing work. You just got to land this, and then it can still shoot while landed, and it doesn't get shot by the Fliegerfaust. Although this would shoot it, so. Or we could just fly into the AA and get shot. Whoa, that would have been something, man. It wouldn't have one-shot it, because it's a Milan 1, not a Milan 2. So, Mr. Calliers here attended the Vincent School of Warno. Let the enemy let you shoot him. And he gets a juicy kill there and vets himself up. It's done off the, so it's the cost of your unit. And it's like 2 times for 1 vet, 4 times for 2 vet, 6 times for 3 vet, something like that. And it's damage dealt, not kill points, something like that. And also sometimes it bugs out and just doesn't give you the vet, even if you killed someone. So it's a very imperfect system, but generally if you kill stuff your vet goes up, but if you've got an expensive unit you have to kill a lot of things for your vet to go up. Which I think makes a lot of sense, because, you know, you don't want everybody's arty to just immediately go to Tuve after one kill, because that'd just be ridiculous, So yeah, one of the helos survived, and the infantry's being pulled back. He does need some recon, and, you know, he could deploy this guy, he could get this guy to the supply, he could use the tank now because it's got its mojo back, but he's just really struggling against ATGMs. What was that? Did Vincent claim another kill? I think he did, you know. Yeah, because he's the only, these guys haven't lost AT ammo. So Vincent claims another kill, a CV tank this time. Will anything be done about Vincent? Will Vincent be counted? So that's just routed. This is still getting hit by ATGMs. So yeah, I mean, blue could still win because red's losing a lot of stuff in these pushes. And he's got arty. It is reloading, which means it's just fired. But basically, yeah, you'd want the second mister out now. And ATGM fires, bam, hit the ATGM, right? Over and over. I get the impression these are all on counter battery. This Feldjäger's been sat here for ages, but he's just out of the vision of both of them. It's good that he's got recon with the tank. Typically, you'd want a recon infantry, because this just gets popped straight away. But it's good that he's got recon with the tank. Need some supply for these conkers and so on. And if you're red, you really want to take this. You take this, you put an ATGM in there, and then they can't really reinforce. You do have to do something about this. Can't just let it shoot you. Like, I mean, he lost an entire point because of one ATGM team. This guy killed so many people, he's max vet. Although there's a CV next to him, so maybe it's only 2 there. No recon, right, so we can't see that. It's out of ammo, though, so... That's on defensive, so that's automatic. Honestly, if you struggle with micro and stuff, nothing wrong with being on defensive. Even some of the top players have all their guys on defensive, so... It's a lot better than just dying. But you see, it doesn't really save you. Like, it's not intelligent in how it operates. It just smokes and reverses. And so you might just find that, because if you still don't look, that, oh my god, he got sidetracked. At least he didn't die, because of the ERA, I think. I'm not sure, that still should have killed him for some land 2 on the side. 7 armor. Yeah, should be killing it. 6 plus 1 HP, right, but... I don't know, it must have been a front hit. Or a partial hit, like a miss, basically. Oh no, now he's... Reverse, please! You hate to see it. Now he's just walking the CV up. So yeah, it could go anybody's way, because he's just losing so many of his units that it could be that, you know, it gets to the point where blue just presses Q and presses over here and just walks back in. Blue should have some... You know, like a Gazelle Hot 2 here. Because the AA is, I suppose there's an Igla, and there's a Cub all the way back here. So the Igla might get you, but if you're far enough away, you get the tanks and you're out of the Igla's range, so that's worth doing. So, yeah, I mean, blue, he's got the supply, but it's not really supplying these units. That's going to get side shot. Needs to take this, really. Because then you can put a recon there, and then you can see these outer buildings, and this can't shoot you, and you know, you can get your fire support up here so that they can't reinforce anymore. But instead, blue can see all of red's units. And he's sort of doing it, but this is still there, so the Mister got counter batteried. Does happen, it's got a high salvo length, so it sticks around for longer, and that's a bad thing. So, blue has discovered the joy of smoke, the first person in the game to do so. The first person in the game to discover smoke. And he's using it to try and do an infantry push, which is fair enough, really. Will red counter battery the smoke mortars? So, yeah, I mean, blue sees all this because of, well, maybe not. And maybe Red gets in, maybe he doesn't. The thing is, he doesn't actually have to get in there. It's obviously nice to. Gina Rocket Lamau. Don't bother with that. Waste of time. Just bring a F-104 AT or a second card of LGBT or something. So he can finally sort of see these guys. Oh, he's showing his side armor there, but the Green Berets can't see that specific unit, so it's going to make it. Don't you love how loud rocket helos are in this game compared to literally everything else? But yeah, I mean, look, it's the tried and tested technique. He's only got one rocket left. He'll run out of ammo before we run out of people. He's only got 4 left, so you'll get him eventually. Yeah, so looks like Red's won. Because he's on a +3, it's about to be a +4, and Blue, his last CV's back here. He doesn't really have time to... Like, there's no CV coming here, so... Looks like it's Jova. I think he'll probably play it out, because the game's been pretty close on the score. But, like, so if Red had bought that CV a little bit sooner, it'd be 500 points less on the Blue score, so you can do things like that. Blue got the high KD, which is interesting. So you got rank 323 here, and rank 168 here. It's a lot of games. Yeah, so that was interesting. So he was actually getting ATGMs. Where's Vincent? Show me Vincent. How many kills did he get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, including 3 CVs. So there's really no nice way to say it. You can't be letting that happen. I mean, that's ridiculous. Anyway, I'll see you around. GG.